Marvel stuff, Deadpool 3, Wolverine and Deadpool, prison scene, how, let's see what the Cosmic Wonder has to say about this and check this out.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and although unfortunately the production for Deadpool 3 is delayed right now due to the strikes, we have some amazing news and further details about Wolverine and Deadpool in Deadpool 3, specifically about how they actually meet in the movie. Now, there has been a lot of speculation about how this could possibly happen. Plus, not to mention, in the end, in the post-credits for Deadpool 2, Deadpool got Cable's time travel device and went back in time, and he interacted with Wolverine. And although we're pretty sure this post-credit scene is going to play a pretty important factor in Deadpool 3, it doesn't look like the Wolverine that is going to be teaming up with Deadpool in Deadpool 3 is that same Wolverine from the post-credits. However, it does appear that the Wolverine that is going to be in Deadpool 3 is indeed from the Fox universe. But keep in mind, there are branch timelines and there are many different variants of that same Fox universe Wolverine. But it does appear that Wolverine is going to at least know who Deadpool is. We're unsure what their history is going to be together, but today it looks like we found out two extremely important details about Deadpool 3, and one of them is how Wolverine and Deadpool meet. We'll break both of these things down in this video, of course, and if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Deadpool 3 and Marvel news. And if you subscribe and leave a comment down below, you're automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox Series X, a PS5, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. The winner gets to pick one item, and we pick a winner at the end of each month. So yesterday, some news came out about Deadpool 3 possibly involving the comic story of BattleWorld. We'll explain what this is and talk about how Doctor Doom could possibly make a cameo in Deadpool 3 later on in the video. But as far as Deadpool and Wolverine meeting go, BattleWorld is actually going to play kind of a key role. This morning, insider Casey Walsh tweeted this: Deadpool 3 is a lead-up to Secret Wars. Realities are collapsing, and the TVA is picking heroes from these dying worlds to put them in the one universe, the New Earth/Battleworld. Wolverine is chosen from the Fox universe and finds an imprisoned Deadpool, and they start their adventure. So this is a little bit more information about how BattleWorld is going to play a role in Deadpool 3. It looks like the TVA is actually going to kind of be responsible for BattleWorld. This is obviously different from the comics, and like I said, we'll talk about that in a bit, but it does explain how Wolverine and Deadpool do come in contact with each other and find each other. He states that Wolverine is going to find an imprisoned Deadpool, and this goes back to that post-credit scene from Deadpool 2. Deadpool did a no-no. He went back in time, and he altered events. That is exactly what triggers the TVA. That is exactly what Loki did in Loki Season 1 when he escaped with the Tesseract. That was not supposed to happen. So we can safely assume that Deadpool getting Cable's time travel device was not supposed to happen. Him going back in time and killing the other Deadpool version of himself was not supposed to happen. And especially him interacting with that Wolverine variant was not supposed to happen either. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that at some point in time, the TVA goes and captures him. But instead of pruning him, they actually take him prisoner. And this could be because all of these other worlds, all of these other universes are indeed starting to collapse. Casey Walsh states that Deadpool 3 is a lead-up to Secret Wars, which we knew, but a lot of people don't realize just how quickly Deadpool 3 is going to go into Secret Wars. It pretty much comes out right before Avengers Kang Dynasty, and we know that in Kang Dynasty, the multiverse is essentially going to collapse. Prior to that, it's going to start collapsing. In fact, it already has. Incursions have already begun. We learned that in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Then at the end, Clea appeared and said that Doctor Strange caused an incursion, and they went to go fix it. And apparently in Doctor Strange 3, we're going to learn that many other incursions have been happening. So the multiverse right now has already begun to collapse. So Deadpool 3 is really going to start to show that. We know Loki Season 2 is going to take this even further, essentially showing the multiverse collapsing and showing tons of different branch timelines appearing and tons of different variants of Kang the Conqueror. Because remember, the multiverse collapsing is due to several different things, not just one thing. Yes, it is due to incursions caused by people in certain universes, but it's also due to Kang the Conqueror trying to conquer the multiverse and starting multiversal wars with universes. So they are destroying universes and causing incursions that way as well. So it could be at this point in time, the TVA could be collecting heroes to possibly fight against Kang. Why would the TVA be collecting heroes and putting them in one universe? Well, that could be a reason, and another reason could be that Kang the Conqueror himself is actually collecting these heroes, possibly to use for his own will or simply his own pleasure, but more on that in a bit. So we assume Deadpool gets captured by the TVA due to him time traveling at the end of Deadpool 2, and that's where Wolverine finds him. It might be safe to assume that Wolverine knows who Wade is. That's why he finds him and releases him. Either that or he finds him and Deadpool simply convinces Wolverine that in another universe they knew each other. Actually, in several other universes they knew each other, and they were, well, I'm sure Deadpool would say they were best buds, when in reality, of course, he would drive Wolverine crazy. But Casey Walsh says this is where they start their adventure. Now, as far as BattleWorld is concerned, this is a little bit different than what we were thinking about. However, it is kind of comic accurate here. A little bit, at least. In the Secret Wars BattleWorld comic storyline, Dr. Doom takes the power of the Beyonder, and he takes a bunch of different shattered realities and universes, and he puts them all together, and he forms BattleWorld. He then rules over it, with Doctor Strange at his side and the Thor Corps doing the work for him. There are quadrants or regions on BattleWorld, and people are not allowed to leave the regions, or the Thor Corps will show up. Now, eventually in the comics, they strip the power away from God Emperor Doom, the Beyonder gets his powers back, and ultimately the multiverse gets restored. And that's why I think we could possibly see a Doctor Doom cameo in Deadpool 3. However, I don't think it would be a new actor playing the new Doctor Doom. I think it would be probably the old actor Julian McMahon that we know as Doctor Doom. And also, as I mentioned yesterday, and as we've mentioned a few times on the channel, we've heard that there is going to be a universe where the X-Men rule the universe, and Magneto is in charge, and Professor X and the other X-Men are on his side. Well, this could be that universe, the new Earth/BattleWorld. After all, if Magneto and Professor Xavier team up together, that's a really hard duo to beat. Like, insanely hard to beat. And if the other X-Men follow Professor X and follow Magneto, then that's a big team that you have to defeat to get control over that world. So that is probably the case. Magneto and Professor X and the rest of the X-Men rule this world, this new battle world. So I'm thinking Magneto would essentially kind of take the role that Doctor Doom has in the comics. And this is probably where problems arise for Wolverine and Deadpool, because of course they're not going to want to play by their games, play by their rules. But again, the question is, why is the TVA collecting heroes and putting them on one world? We could theorize about this all day, but like I mentioned before, there are a few options that make sense. One is that Kang could simply have the TVA do this. Kang realizes what is happening. It's a direct order from Kang to the TVA, telling them that instead of pruning all of these timelines, go to these timelines, collect the biggest, baddest, best heroes from them, and put them all on one planet, one universe. And again, there could be several different reasons of why he could be doing this. He could, one, simply be doing it as a muse. He could simply just want to rule over the universe's, the multiverse's most powerful heroes. And much like in the comics, he could simply have them fight each other, just like the Beyonder did. After all, we do know from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania that Kang has defeated many Avengers, and we can assume X-Men as well. So perhaps capturing the multiverse's mightiest heroes and putting them all on the same world together is simply a muse for Kang. Or another option is he could want to use them. Remember that Kangs are at war with one another. Yes, in Quantumania they presented the Council of Kangs and showed us thousands of Kangs on the same side. However, don't be fooled. Each and every individual Kang wants to rule the multiverse for himself. And you can already tell that the leaders, the Kang trio, don't trust each other. Plus, not to mention, they exiled the Kang that we saw in Quantumania. And the first multiversal war, and almost the destruction of the entire multiverse itself, was caused by Kangs fighting each other. So it would make sense that if a Kang could, he would recruit the universe's mightiest heroes and villains to fight alongside of him. And they can see, obviously, the power that he has with the TVA and the destruction of all these other universes. He could simply tell them, hey, you're gonna fight for me or I'm gonna kill you and destroy all of your universes, if they aren't already. And he could also promise them that they'll rule the multiverse with him. They'll be his generals, and when they conquer the multiverse together, they will get the rewards. Of course, if Kang tells them that, I doubt he actually means it, but you could definitely see how he could use that army. But another reason that the TVA might actually be doing this is because they themselves want an army of all these heroes and villains to take on Kang the Conqueror. Because remember, Loki Season 2 is going to expose Kang to the TVA. And they're going to set out to stop him. And we know Mobius is going to appear in Deadpool 3. So it would make sense that the TVA would know at this point in time that Kang and his variants, they're the bad guys. They need to stop them. So this could actually be a plan by the TVA, by Mobius and the others to try to get an army to fight against him, which I think would be really, really cool. And this could be how we get all of these different variants to appear in Secret Wars. We know Deadpool 3 is going to go right into it. It's going to set it up, and this would be a perfect way to set it up. But let us know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. Do you like this idea? Do you not like this idea? Let us know what you think. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest MCU news. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.
Subscribe, like this video. Have a great night, and see you guys. Bye.